and welcome to No Recipe Required. Tonight I want to show you how to brine a chicken. Now white meat, chicken, pork, I think can really benefit from brines like this. Brines are really just salt and sugar. In this case I add a bunch of other ingredients to kind of boost up the flavor and you know, it tastes absolutely awesome. So you get a nice, you know, moist texture. You get the you know, the salty sweet of the sugar and salt in there, and then some onions, some carrots, other things that are absolutely delicious. Let's show you how to do it. Okay, let's go ahead and make our brine, our flavored brine for a chicken. I'm going to go ahead and submerge the whole chicken eventually in this brine. And you know, brines in the most simple form are really just sugar, salt, and water. Here though, I like to do a flavored brine for chicken. This one has some onion and some carrot and garlic. Now I happen to be using red onion, frankly, because I just had leftover red onion. So just coarsely chopped it. Doesn't have to be fine or pretty or nice. White onion, yellow onion, totally fine. Really just use what you have because you're just looking to impart some of that flavor into the chicken. The carrot in there, just peeled, chopped again coarsely, and then I've got a couple cloves of chopped garlic in there as well. I'm going to let these saute over medium heat until they just wilt down and they soften up a little bit. And then we're going to come back, we'll add a few more ingredients. Okay, after 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to get to a point where the onions are just softened a little bit. And as the carrots are going to remain pretty hard, but you don't really need to cook them too soft. I'm going to add a good amount of freshly ground black pepper. I'm also going to add a good, you know, healthy teaspoon of thyme. I'm using dry thyme, which you know, I think is totally fine in a brine like this. You're just looking for that flavor, which is going to get extracted over a long period of time. And then I like to put it in, you know, literally just give it kind of 30 seconds to you know, to break down and to release some of those oils in the thyme. And then we're going to add our sugar and salt. This is salt, and I've got maybe a third of a cup of salt. And I'm going to add my sugar. I use a little bit less sugar than salt, but you know, a close to a 50-50 ratio is going to be just fine for you. At the end of the day, we're going to taste the brine, obviously, before we put the chicken in it, and make any adjustments that we need to by adding, you know, more water or more salt or more sugar. So you can just kind of toss this together. I like to get it a little bit warm before I add water. I'm going to add, you know, for that quarter cup or third cup of sugar and salt, I'm going to add about a quart of water here. Try and get it nicely dissolved under the heat, and then we're going to cool it off with some ice cubes and some cold water. That'll get us another quart for like a total of 2 quarts liquid. Okay, our brine has come up to a boil. That means the salt and the sugar in there, they are as dissolved as they're going to get. The idea is to you know, heat it up so that, one, you get even more flavor out of the carrot, onion, garlic, thyme that you have in there, but then also give that sugar and salt a chance to dissolve, which happens easier in hot water. Now, you definitely do not want to brine the chicken or anything else in hot water. You got to get this cooled down. So you can obviously just add water to it and let it cool down, but I'm in a rush. I'm always in a rush, so I'm going to add the brine to just an aluminum bowl where I put a bunch of ice cubes. At the end of the day, we want to add, you know, about another quart of liquid, and we can do that just as easily with ice cubes and cool things down as we can with water. So I'm going to get that in the brine and the ice cubes together. Stir it down. Obviously the cubes will melt pretty quickly, and bring the brine to temperature. You really want it around room temperature before, or even colder obviously, before you add that chicken in there. So if this doesn't quite bring it all the way down, then just let it stand or put it in the fridge for half an hour. So our ice is now melted. I'm still a little bit warm for the brine, and I'm still a little bit heavy on the salt content, salt and sugar content. So I just added a little bit more cold water, and we'll give it another taste. I think that's That's right on. You're looking obviously for a quite a bit of saltiness. I think you could actually use a little more sugar to it. So I'm going to add a little sugar. You want to read salt. You want to read sweet, and you'll be there. You'll be perfect. You just want to make sure you cool it off. Pop it in the fridge for an hour or so, and then you are ready to go. Okay, let's go ahead and show you how to take the chicken out of the bag and get it nice and cleaned or prepped for cooking. I like to just go to the top of the bag. Obviously you can use a knife, you can use scissors to open up wide mouth of the bag. Now you also want to make sure all your kitchen is clean of any other dishes or pots or pans or anything like that, because you obviously don't want cross-contamination with the chicken anywhere. I like to grab the drumsticks of the chicken and then just slide the bottom off, and then you're going to get some of that dripping, and there's a fair amount of juice left in that chicken bag here. Just keep a trash can obviously right next to you so you can go ahead, toss that in. Let the chicken drain off for a minute or so. Now I used to be a chicken washer, put the water on and get it rinsed off. I actually read not long ago that can help spread cross-contamination all over the place, so I actually stopped doing it. You do have to remove the pieces inside the chicken. You usually have a chicken neck, the heart, you got a liver in there, and there's really no pretty way to do it. You just kind of got to reach into the cavity, grab the liver. I think I got the heart in there. If you want to keep them, go ahead and keep them. I'm not using them tonight, so I'm just going to toss them. You can also freeze them, and that works really well too. I like to keep a little cutting board covered in paper towel right next to me when I take the chicken out, just so I have some place to put it, and the paper towel will again absorb kind of all those juices. If you're ready to cook it, you can just leave it out like this. I like to let the skin dry. You can pat it dry, let the skin dry, and then you can pop it in the oven or however you're going to cook it. Or if you're going to brine it, you can do the same thing. Take it like from here, throw it right in your brine. All right, let's go ahead and show you how to brine a chicken. I've got the brine made, and my chicken has been out for a little bit, just cleaned. I've taken obviously out of the plastic, took out the heart, the lung, not the lung, the liver, all that stuff from the inside. I like to brine in a plastic bag like this, just because it's cleaner, it's easier, and frankly, chickens this size, they fit really nicely. If your chicken is larger, you can easily do it in a pot, in a cooler, really anything that's kind of self-contained, and that will fit in your fridge. Once I've got the chicken in there, I just take my brine and pour it right into the bag. And ideally, you get it to a point where, once sealed, the chicken is essentially submerged in the brine. If it's not, you can always add a little bit more water to it. That's not really going to hurt anything. You want to try and press as much air out of the bag as you can when you seal it. And then obviously lift it up, make sure you don't have any leaking or leakage out of the bag. And then the other thing I do is, this bowl is a little small, but I'll grab a larger bowl and just drop the chicken into it, just in case it does develop a leak. You don't want the chicken leaking off all over the place. I like to keep the chicken in the brine for probably anywhere from 5 to 8 or 9 hours in the fridge. Okay, so anywhere after 5 to 7, 8 hours, you can remove your chicken from the brine. I like to just lift it right out of the bag, and I have underneath my bag an aluminum bowl here, just my cutting board, which I've lined with a heavy amount or a good amount of paper towel. I'll drop the bird right on that, just to keep the juices confined. It's a cutting board with a channel around it, but this helps prevent any cross-contamination, and you're essentially good. You've got your brine chicken. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.